Today, we witnessed something tragic in America, the assassination of Charlie Kirk. Whatever you thought of Charlie, whether you agreed with him or not, this is a moment of deep loss for his family, his community, and for our nation as a whole. Political violence is a line we cannot afford to cross. When disagreement turns into death, when debate turns into bloodshed, we are all diminished. I want to say something clearly. America is hurting. We are divided. Left and right, capital and labor, community and institution. Too often, we don't even speak the same language. And in those divides, anger festers. In those divides, violence grows. But I also want to say this. I stand here today as someone who knows both worlds. I grew up in what most people call the hood or the block, a working class community where resources were scarce and violence was common. I don't say that for clout or credibility. I say it because it shows what happens when people live without institutional access, without the networks others take for granted. I grew up in Southwest Philadelphia, just south of University City, right under the shadow of one of the largest institutions in America, the University of Pennsylvania. That contrast shaped me. On one side of the street were billion-dollar endowments, ivy-covered walls, and leaders whose names carried weight around the world. On the other side were families like mine, working hard, struggling to get by, wondering why all that wealth, all that power, all that promise never seemed to reach us. I know what it feels like to look at those gates and wonder if you'll ever be let in. I know what it feels like to see institutions in your neighborhood, but not for your neighborhood. And later in life, I found myself inside those very rooms, the boardrooms and offices where billion-dollar decisions were being made. I learned the language. I understood the systems. I saw how decisions are justified and how narratives are crafted. That's why I can say I have lived both realities. I know what it means to be on the outside looking in, and I know what it looks like on the inside when institutions decide what to do with their money, their influence, and their power. It's because of that lived experience that I've committed my life to being the bridge between institutions and the people they're meant to serve, the bridge between the right and the left, the bridge between capital and labor, the bridge between what we say and what we actually do. If we are going to heal, if we are going to move forward, we don't need more division. We don't need more shouting. We need more bridges. We need people willing to stand in the middle, to translate, to connect, to execute. That's the work I've taken on. And in a moment like this, painful, frightening, sobering, I want to remind all of us, we can build a different future. One that values life. One that values labor. One that values truth. And one that values execution over empty promises. Today, I grieve with America. But tomorrow, I will keep building bridges because that is the only way forward.